Since it's 6:30, I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen of the town of Belgrade to order at 6:30, and we will start with whoops. And since we're all here, we've established a quorum. We have. So we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Starting out with the meeting, first thing on our agenda, or I move we open the meeting. Second. First article is public comment. Is there anyone who has any public comment they'd like to make? Huh?
All those in favor of opening the meeting?
Oh, all those in favor of opening the meeting? No.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, okay.
And now go to it.
Okay. Any public comment?
See any in the chat or raise hand?
I would just like to say last night, the historical, what do I say, Historical Society had a special meeting at, or a special event at the Sunset Grill. It was trivia night. It was very well attended and very well accepted.
And a lot of fun.
And a lot of fun.
And you guys won.
Well,
That makes.
They won all three. There was a trifecta.
there was a
Really?
trifecta.
One second.
No,
No, there was a tie.
There was a tie.
But
but
I wasn't really, but I came in late, so I wasn't.
My money was behind the librarian. I was like, oh.
But I think maybe it would be nice just to send a note to the Historical Society saying, you know, good job. People really liked it, and people were talking about, oh, can we do another one in the fall? So, anyway, just give credit where credit's due. Next item let's review minutes, May 7th. Anyone have any additions or corrections? I personally didn't find any.
Is it you two with a period in the middle?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just all one word.
Yes, that's
I
correct.
think so too.
Where's that?
It's in blue under minutes. Should be you two with no period on it. Typographical.
Oh, you, why are you TU?
I did have a question on page 3, but my fault, because I didn't catch this at the last meeting. We appointed someone to the cemetery committee,
Yes,
and we normally have a cemetery committee recommendation. Did that go to them prior?
I do not know. Do you?
No, I did not.
It went.
Okay, so we should check that.
Yeah, we need to make sure now they go. to
They
committee.
may go to committee first. Yeah.
But she's a good addition. Very good addition, actually.
Okay, so a member of the cemetery committee says it's okay.
Yeah, we're all.
No
we're all
objections.
good. No objections, no, none at all.
That was
Thank
the
you.
question I had.
It was an oversight. We need to make sure we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I have on that.
Okay, I move we approve the minutes as corrected.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion? All in favor, Melanie,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
I'll vote yes, so that's 5 yeses. Is that taken? And I move we open unfinished business.
Second.
Okay. Fire station engineering, architectural design and permitting contract, Lorna.
So we've gone back and forth several times. Sheridan and this office, the building committee and our legal counsel. Dawn from Sheridan did send an updated contract late this afternoon, just as I was leaving the house, so I came in and printed copies, for all of you to be able to take home and review. I've already sent it to our legal counsel for a final okay. And if I can get him to do that tomorrow, then you all could sign at the special town meeting tomorrow night.
Right. Okay, any discussion on that item?
Seems appropriate.
Sounds good.
Seems appropriate to me, okay. Okay, then that will take us to new business. I move we open new business.
Second.
Okay, so committee resignations and appointments. Oh, Laura, is Laura online?
He is not, I don't think I have a
Oh, we don't have one.
form for her yet. I've
I
kept
think
her
we had
on
that
there.
last week. I think it was last week's packet.
No, she,
No,
I don't
okay,
think so,
I don't think so.
because
okay.
Yeah.
Well, we will,
she has filled it out. I have it on good authority that she has
you
filled
have
it
it on
out.
good authority to spell that.
Might not
Okay.
have made its way down here yet.
Okay, all right. So we need to consider the appointment of Nicholas Alexander to the short-term rental ad hoc committee. Is Nick online?
He is.
Okay,
Hi guys.
we have your appointment to the short-term rental committee. Are you, you're still interested in serving on that?
Very much so.
Okay. And any, you have here, you wish to serve to expand your horizons and a better understanding of shoreland zonings. Anything else you would like to add to that?
Nothing at this time.
Okay. I move we appoint, Nicholas Alexander to the short-term rental ad hoc committee.
I'll second that.
All in favor, or any discussion?
No.
All in favor, Dan?
Yeah.
Barbara?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
I'll vote yes, so that's fine. Welcome aboard, Nick, and, we need to
Thank
make,
you.
to get sworn in here, so.
Yes. Thank you.
How many committees is this now?
Great.
3 boards and committees?
Wow.
All right, welcome to the trifecta.
Okay, thank you, Nick.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Should we make a motion to table Laura Richard's appointment for the next meeting until we have
Yes,
application? So I'll make that motion.
And second.
any discussion? All in favor, Dan?
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. 5 yeses. I would like to say, I have spoken to 2 people who have said they're willing to serve on the committee. I just got back, so I haven't had a chance to give them the form, so we should have 2 more, should have at least those 3. And I would just ask maybe if each of us on the board could find 1 person to go on that committee. Then should have enough people to go ahead and start meeting. So, and there was an interesting article in the paper today from York on short-term rentals. So we don't need to reinvent the wheel, I don't think.
No.
Well, always
Last
voted that
name
out.
Townsman, I held on to our last name Townsman.
They did.
And
Yeah, I
also,
didn't vote, wait.
Yeah.
and a legislative thing at the House for whenever we do the ad hoc building committee, they had already addressed short-term rentals. And they had
Right,
really nice articles that several communities had done.
Really?
So I held on to them for when it moves forward, so.
so, yeah.
And we also need to keep in mind that we have a 6-month commitment from Kathy Wall. So let's hope that that's 6 months from the time the committee starts
Starts
meeting
meeting,
and not
right.
from the time that she was appointed, because she was the first one who was appointed to the
Right.
committees.
Yeah, so hopefully we can get enough people next time so we can get started.
That'd be great.
So, okay. Next item is road striping. And we have our road commissioner, Jason Stevens, with us.
Hey, geez.
So Lucas Striping's been doing it for years for the town.
They seem like a pretty good company, reasonable. I mean, $3,800 to do all the striping right in town, so.
So I have two quotes in my book.
Okay, I've got one on my email.
So we have 3,200 that's dated 4/13, and then,
Yeah, you've got the old, the last time it was done, Carol.
Oh, that was a
21, okay,
Yeah,
I'm
if you look at
sorry,
the date
okay.
upper.
I didn't notice,
Right.
I didn't notice the date either. I thought that was, I thought they submitted an updated.
I was gonna go trying to figure out where the
Yeah.
difference is from.
Yeah, me too.
So in 3 years, it's gone up $600, which is, seems to me not.
Like I said, that's not much.
That's not
What everything else is going.
Yeah, that's the cheapest thing we got out there, so.
And what,
Dealing with that.
what is the 1 foot no parking? Cause that seems to be the only addition to it.
1 foot, no parking. Guessing it's down in the village.
Yeah, I would expect it's the what we made people pay for in front of by their driveways the last time.
Right, so is that, will that come off our quote, or will that be,
That's,
we would require those people to pay for that in advance? So.
it's 5 of them at $10, so it's $50.
Okay. Well, we did tell them in order to do the no parking, that they had to pay for that themselves. If they wanted it done.
And I'm
So
thinking it was $25.
It was $25.
That's what I was thinking.
Now they're going to 10.
Maybe this is something
So maybe
else. Maybe-
because it's all already been done
Probably
and
the
they're just
first time,
going back
yeah,
over.
yeah.
Yeah, they probably had to measure it all
Yeah.
Oh, all
up. Map
the
their
stuff.
lines and
Yeah.
everything else last time. Right.
So we should check with those folks before we actually have them painted.
Yeah.
Do you have a list of those, Jason?
I don't.
I was-
We should.
To me, it's.
Somewhere there should be. What?
Yeah, I'm almost not worried. If it's only $10 a piece this time, I'm almost not worried about it.
So we'll just let it slide.
I mean, it's part of the stripe that it's down there now.
Yeah.
And at $10 a piece. You know,
I'm okay
I
with
can't
that.
see
but We're really
Yeah,
fine.
so-
I was like, if you want this done, you're gonna pay for it yourselves.
Yeah, well,
Right.
$25 a person, it's fine, you know.
Right.
Right. Well, my only thought is if all of a sudden we have 10 other people say, oh, well, if I don't have to pay that.
Right, if it's only $10, I want it.
Yeah, but it won't be $10 because they'd have to set up
Right,
Right,
this and everything else, so they'd have to pay the fee like. the other
right,
people
this,
did to
that,
Start off with.
okay,
right.
Oh, so they paid 25.
They paid $25 a piece per person.
Yeah,
yeah.
So then I make a motion that we include the same 5 people that had the no parking done previously as part of this quote, and that we include the bid price from Lucas Striker for the quote.
Okay, I'll second that.
Second that. Any further discussion? All in favor, Dan?
Yeah.
Barbara?
Yes,
Peter?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes, so that's 5 yeses.
Well, that was easy.
We
Thank you.
can strike away.
But it's funny if you compare these two quotes. Some stuff went up and some striping went down. Okay. That doesn't make sense.
I wonder if it has to do, the last time we did it too, I think we didn't catch them the first time, and maybe they had to come back. I think there was some other stuff.
Most of the stuff went up.
Yeah.
It's just funny how little it's gone up. Last couple of years.
Okay. Our next item is donation of trees to Workman Field. Is there someone here to represent that?
Mary could not be here. She sent a little letter via email and asked me if I would read it.
Okay,
So Mary Perry from Winterberry Farm contacted us and asked if she could donate 3 maple trees to the Workman Field, which we were going to put 3 trees in the fall. We took the others down. So she said, dear board members of the town of Belgrade, my name is Mary Perry. I am a 25-year resident of Belgrade, where I started my farm, Winterberry Farm, and raised my 3 kids as a single mom, single woman farmer. Without the help of my community, I would not have been as successful as I have been with raising my 3 kids. All 3 of my kids played soccer, softball, and baseball over a span of 15 years at those fields in Belgrade. The town of Belgrade has always given me scholarships, so I never had to pay fees for the kids to be in those sports. A few weeks back, I noticed that the big pine trees near the food shack and the ball field at BC's were taken down, so I reached out to the town office and Corey, and they explained to me that the trees were taken down for maintenance reasons. I have a dream of donating 3 maple trees to help the ball fields be a shady spot for parents while their kids are at the ball fields. My 3 kids are Kenya, Gil, and Sage. I hope you'll accept my offer of donating these trees. Thanks for listening. Mary Perry, Winterberry Farm, Belgrade, Maine.
So my first thought is that was fantastic.
Is what?
Second thought is our maple tree is going to become a hindrance as far as keeping it clean, the leaves falling in the fall. And who will be responsible for the maintenance of that? I think that's why they did the pine trees originally, because the maintenance is that much less. There is no maintenance.
I think in the little helicopter seeds.
Right, and the helicopters that will make many more maples.
I think Native Notions thought the maples would be the best tree for there.
Yeah,
I know Corey had them come in and take a look, and
Oh,
that's what they recommended.
was that because of the root structures would be
I
different?
think
than-
so, because the pine trees, the roots were horrible.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, whatever they go up, they go out.
Yeah,
Right, maples go deep.
Right.
So it's a trade-off, right? You either get a good quality tree, like a maple, and that lasts for quite some time,
right.
along with some maintenance. As mentioned. Versus a pine tree which would grow and then fall over again, so it's probably what would happen.
And do we have to have approval from RSU 18 to plant a different type of tree there, since that's also their property as well?
They're all set. We already spoke with the superintendent, met with him. That was some time ago when
Right,
they agreed to
he
pay
was
half.
replacing trees, but not with a different species. And we tend to maintain that field, so that maintenance costs would fall back on the town.
Well, leaves are gonna blow in both directions.
Right.
I mean, if you go into the fall and you mow and
Right.
mulch them up.
Mulch 'em
it's-
up,
it's-
Yeah. A pine, you still get pine, you get like any of those in the pine cones. I mean, we're dealing with pine cones at the cemetery like tomorrow.
Okay.
And by the time they get to be that big, I won't be around.
They got a while, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And so we were going to split the expense with the town, with RSU.
Correct.
Okay, so now nobody has to pay anything
Unless there's a custom road to put it
for
in,
planting.
and we do still need to contact Dig Safe because it's municipal property. So they have to be contacted before we do anything.
Corey would do that, sure.
Yeah, I think he's already had them over there once.
Okay.
Yeah, digging up the roots and all.
Oh, could you pick up all those roots? Yeah.
Would Corey does he have any objections to hardwood going in rather than?
No, that's what, he was very happy with that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then just thinking ahead, like as Melanie pointed out, the maintenance that's tolerable.
Yes.
We can always get K-Wiz to have a breaking day.
Yeah.
They're good workers.
So do we have a motion? Anyone want to make a motion?
I would move to accept the donation of the trees from Mary Perry to replace the pine trees at the fields as mentioned.
Can I add to your motion? Sure. And to send her a card thanking her for that donation, signed by the board and the town manager.
Excellent. Thank you for that.
She's.
I'll second that. Any more discussion? All in favor, Dan,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes,
Peter,
Yes,
Melanie?
Yes.
I'll vote yes, so that's 5 yeses. If you contact Mary for us. Laura?
I absolutely will.
Okay,
it's very kind of her.
Very.
and our next item is a discussion of the change to the web address to maine.gov. And discussion of Civic Plus website provider renewal. So Lorna, do you want to start?
Not sure. So we right now have our web address is townofbelgrade.com, which indicates a commercial entity. We can put our web address as belgrade.maine.gov, which would fall under the maine.gov addresses for a government organization. And then we also received the renewal contract for the website itself, which increased from just over 2,000 was the last payment to 3,300. And we budgeted that line item is 2,500. So we did have some discussion about in the office about doing something less expensive. But that's entirely up to the board. If you wanted to go that route, or we can simply renew, it looks like just an annual renewal now, with Civic Plus.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Are these two at all related? We can do.
No, the separate issue.
Separate issues,
Yeah.
so maybe we should decide
Sure.
the
Right.
web address first.
Mhm.
So the reason that we went to the townofbelgrade.com was our previous web host, we were townofbelgrade.org. And in 2019, we had to fight to purchase the town of Belgrade's domain from the previous host. And we were not able to get all of our information. So we had to create a new website, which is how we became the townofbelgrade.com. It was an uphill battle and we didn't win because they were hosting the website and they owned the information. So
So when you say they, who is that? Is
the
that
previous,
Web host.
the previous web host, drawing a blank on the name of that. It was Matt something was the gentleman's name.
So do they still own it?
They have the town of Belgrade.com, .org. So we were.
Oh, they have the town of
We
Belgrade.
were not able to get all of our information
So
From them at that
from them at that time.
time.
at that time, right. Okay. So as far as changing our email address, if we separate those and do Belgrade, belgrade.maine.gov, am I correct? That's the way,
That would be a normal belgrade.maine.gov.
is that?
And would that be the email address at belgrade.maine.gov?
I don't know.
Or would that just be the website address?
The web address would be belgrade.maine.gov.
Right.
But I don't know, I don't think Civic Plus does our email addresses. Because when we add email addresses, we contact Maine back.
Correct.
Right, that's the town of Belgrade.com.
.com.
They do that and we have so many addresses. Anthony was part of that. When we did the switch over, we actually started it with Dennis Peschel. And both Anthony and Maureen Milliken were part of that process, and they both sent emails about this, so. I want to make sure that we address their questions, their concerns, and that we did not go to this willy-nilly. We knew that the costs were going to go up, we put a significant amount of money behind it to start. One of the things in Anthony's email was about pushing out urgent notices, and we have that already built into the website. There's a contact us form, and you fill it out and you check the box for urgent messages, and anybody who is signed up, that goes. And we have the ability to just push it to all citizens in the town of Belgrade per that website. So I think there's a thing.
The only thing it doesn't push out, which, Christine, Paulson, we spoke about is when you create an event for the calendar, like a meeting or any sort of event, they do not have the ability to push that out. That is not included in the alerts, which makes no sense to me. It's just when you upload minutes or agenda, or something like that, it will send an alert out, but it does not send an alert for an event. And I contacted Civic Plus and they said that is not an option. They do not offer that. And I asked them to automate the e-alerts so that it would take away any possibility that someone uploading something that would normally trigger that if you check the box manually, which you had to do. I asked them to automate that and they were reluctant, but they did do it. So now there's no possible way for anybody to upload something and it to not send the alert. It does it automatically.
So, because when we have the subscribe thing on our thing, they can check all the boxes, they can check the ones that they want to know if there is something.
Yeah, events don't trigger an alert. Anthony wants to talk, I think.
Yeah.
But there's an easy workaround to that. And that is, for instance, when you have a special town meeting, you're obviously going to create a calendar event, but at the same time, you should create a news item for that as well. And that's how you push that out. Because you can send an e-alert with a news item.
Okay,
Okay.
And that was the whole reason that we wanted to go with this website, because we not only have the ability to do that, if it's utilized correctly, there are items like brown tail moth that it sends an alert to the town saying brown tail moth season. You can attach things to the state's website, you can attach all of these things to it, and you're reminded of it annually so that you don't miss pushing these things out to the taxpayers. And I don't know, maybe we don't utilize it as much as we should be. Because there are some fantastic features put in there, which is why I had asked if someone from Civic Plus was gonna be present this evening. And if not, we should probably invite them to a meeting, because they're discussing their contract, and that is the number one thing. If they're discussing their contract, they should be invited to the table. So
I did invite them, but nobody responded.
we should re-invite them, because I think it was just over the weekend that I was like, is anybody coming? Because they were fantastically responsive with us. They sent physical, they did Zoom, trainings, they did, you know, how many folks would have access to it and make sure that only those folks, you know, could push stuff, but department heads were supposed to be given the ability to add their items to the town calendar and things like that, and the notifications would go up. So maybe we're not utilizing it as much as we could be to push the information.
I think the problem is that there's been no training for anyone here on staff.
Nick was trained. The former librarian was trained. I don't know that Mary
Was not, where
Mary
you
was
Mary?
not trained, it was Nick.
I'm pretty
We
sure
had to
she
pick a
was.
couple of people, and it was, we have the former town librarian and Nick Poole were the two, and Nick has been involved since the beginning. I mean, he was doing the heavy lifting initially.
Anthony would like to speak to
Yeah.
Anthony.
It's worth noting that Civic Plus actually offers an entire library of training videos. And so those are tremendously helpful. At the after I left the town of Belgrade, I offered to help in any sort of way that I could. I've never been contacted about that. I agree with Melanie. I don't think that the website has been used to its full capability. And you know, it's very easy to use. So it in a lot of ways, it's very intuitive. For those of you who did not read my email that I sent last night, we have a Civic Plus website in Winthrop. Our executive assistant, whom you all know, Deb Nichols, who does not in any way profess to be a technological wizard. I've assigned the responsibility of administering most of the website to her, and she's picked up on it lickety split. And she agrees that it's very easy. And to one of Melanie's other points, we've also found them to be super responsive anytime that we need anytime we've had a question or needed any sort of tech support. They typically respond within hours. And I think that sort of support is invaluable. It's not the sort of support you would get from a platform like Wix or WordPress. In those instances, you're on your own. And I know of which I speak because when I was at the Seven Lakes Alliance, which has a Wix website, I tried to get that changed. Seven Lakes doesn't move very quickly, and so that didn't happen before I left. But everyone agreed that Wix was a bear to administer. Having worked on both platforms, I can tell you that Civic Plus is by far the easiest to administer. And frankly, that's what you want, because in the town of Winthrop, if tomorrow I get hit by a bus and the day after that, Deb Nichols gets hit by a bus, someone's going to be able to step in and administer that website. No problems whatsoever. And in fact, what led to the town of Belgrade having to design 2 websites in-house is after the first website was designed, that person left and no one knew how to administer it. And then Nick Poole built a second website, which by his own admission was terrible, and it was. He was the only one who could administer that. And so one of the beauties of Civic Plus is even if there's turnover in the staff, you should be able to continue to administer the website. And as I pointed out in my email, my understanding is you have 2 super capable deputy clerks right now. Both of those people could easily be trained to administer the website.
Very good. Well, from my perspective, I just wanted to say, I had no opinions about Civic Plus or reason to move away from it. My whole thing was just to make sure that it could be administered, and no matter who's around, could do it. And that's really all I had to say about that one. My concern was about the domain.
The domain, right?
So I wanted to make sure that we consider moving to a .gov domain. It's a top level domain managed by, those are all managed by CISA. So it's not, does not have the same type of, what do we call it, playing field that the .com world does. That's essential when you want to build trust with your taxpayers and people who talk with it. That was my thing.
And the reason we had done that was we wanted for people who were looking at the town, considering coming to Maine, to be able to just type in town of Belgrade, and our website would be right there without them having to do anything else. And it is night and day compared to what we had previously.
Aren't we looking at 2 separate issues? One is
Yeah, we are.
the .gov and one is the Civic Plus.
Right, but I'm saying that is the .com, that's why we went with townofbelgrade.com, could have chosen our name and we went with townofbelgrade.com to make it easier for any tourists who were considering coming to the town of Belgrade to be able to type in town of Belgrade and it comes up immediately without them having to say, do I need to do belgrade.maine.gov?
But couldn't it be set up that that would be an automatic if someone,
I'd say what that,
I mean, Peter, I'm looking at Peter, but I don't know if you know this, but if someone put in town of Belgrade, then couldn't it be configured that it would come up, that would, Maine.gov would be the default that you would come up with, or?
I don't see why not. I mean,
Couldn't you forward it, point it to the .gov?
boy,
If somebody typed in townofbelgrade.com, couldn't we forward that in a sense, point it?
oh, I see what you're saying, like, are there ways to redirect inquiries that go
Yeah.
from .com to .gov? Yeah, there are definitely ways to do that. I think Melanie's point is about anybody else who just looks for Belgrade. We're not doing anything. I think the assurance that would like to have, or the concern was that the return on that Google search or whatever search you have would come up with an address. And I can't swear to a .gov domain would come up higher than a .com, or .com would come up higher than .gov. I mean, the .gov's a top level domain. It's I don't know how that would not
Yeah.
work.
I'm over here just typing in different towns and cities around here, and it doesn't matter. They're either coming up as .org if they're in .org, City of Augusta, you type in City of Augusta, or City of Augusta.gov. It comes right up, very first thing on the page.
Right,
So there's, no matter what it is, there's gotta be a way to have it come up first thing.
Yeah.
right,
Because Belgrade comes up as .com, some of the other ones come up as .com, but
right.
yeah, depending on which one, what they have, it's just coming up first thing on the search.
So I think there's some great concerns, want to make sure that it comes up early, right? If anybody were to search
Right.
for Belgrade, great. I just wanted to make sure we start, I wanted to advocate that we think about a domain under the .gov. I think it's very important for trust and security going forward. That's my bottom line. I can't say anything more about it.
Trust and security among the public,
Public taxpayers who, if we do more business through our website, that's anything that's going on, that is as secure as it can be.
So to speak to Peter's point, he's absolutely right. A .gov domain is more secure than a .com domain. And there's a simple solution to this. You don't have to go to townofbelgrade.maine.gov. You can just go to townofbelgrade.gov. There's a movement that is being pushed in Maine municipal circles to have all municipalities adopt a .gov domain because it is more secure and because it does identify towns as being a part of a governmental entity as opposed to, you know, some other sort of organization. And that's and you can still as has been mentioned, you can still have your .com domain point to your .gov domain. So someone types in .com and they're going to take you to the townofbelgrade.gov website.
Like I said, right now, I just been typing in just town of whatever or city of whatever. I haven't been typing in .com or .gov or .org, and they're all coming up as the very first thing, no matter which one they are.
Which one they are?
City of Waterville, I just did City of Waterville, comes up first thing, City of Waterville, Maine.
Anthony, do you know if there's any issues with Civic Plus to change our
Maine,
names from .com
City
to
of Waterville
.gov?
/ Maine.
So there was an article in the Town and City magazine not too long ago, and it was advocating for moving to a .gov domain. And it's a pretty simple process. There's no cost involved. We're undergoing that process right now in the town of Winthrop. And so I agree with Peter. I think it's a more secure domain to begin with. And then secondly, it identifies you as a governmental entity as opposed to, you know, something that could be phishing for people.
Barbara?
and if we choose to stay with Civic Plus, then they don't care if we're .gov or .com or .org or .edu or whatever whatever we are. It doesn't make any difference to them.
They do not. And to answer your question previously, if you went to a .gov, so let's say it's townofbelgrade.gov, that would also be the domain for your email.
Mhm.
You would not want a separate domain for your website and your email.
Right.
Yeah, what it is. So then we'd work with.
Yeah.
That.
Now, Anthony, if we change to a .gov and not a .com, are we gonna lose the emails that we have from the .com?
No. Main Technology Group will work with you on that. That won't be an issue.
I'd sort of like to have Civic Plus make a presentation if they are willing to do that. Just to know more about it.
I think so.
Yeah, because it's been 5 years since I've
Yeah.
been here,
So I think it would be worth asking them to come maybe to our next meeting to give us a presentation on what.
May I make two other points that I did not make in my email that occurred to me after the fact? Number one is, has anyone considered if you move to a in-house website, how you're going to migrate all the content on your current site to a in-house site? In other words, how are you going to get all the minutes, all the agendas, all the documents, all the news items, all the content, everything that you currently have on your website, all the ordinances? How are you going to migrate that over to a new website?
A
Other
lot of
than-
that's already done.
Other than physically doing that? You know, this part is part of what happened when we started building the website with Civic Plus, is they took what was on our previous website and we got to decide what we migrated over. But absent that sort of technical expertise, are you going to like, physically enter all that stuff into a new website? That doesn't seem efficient to me. Secondly, as I pointed out in my email, I think the cost is a red herring, because you're talking about less than 0.1% of the town's budget going to its front-facing presence to the world. And I don't know of any serious organization that spends $300 a year on its website. A $300 a year website is for hobbyists, not for governmental entities and organizations. And it's the old adage, you get what you pay for. And you've got, as I said, immodestly, I know more about this than anyone else in Belgrade, because I've worked with these municipal websites and their vendors. And you've got an industry leader right now at a pittance of a cost. And even if you say, well, they're increasing 5% year over year. Well, if you calculate it, 5% of $3,500 is less than $200. So what are we talking about? So I would just strongly urge you, you've got a good product in house. You're not using it to its full capabilities. Get the training necessary, train other people. And I have to tell you, having Deb take care of the website in Winthrop has been freeing for me, because I get to address so many more high-level priorities without having to worry about that. And she's taken that ball and run with it. And I don't have to think about that. I mean, we talk about it from time to time about, hey, let's make sure we get this on the website. But she's typically a step ahead of me. And I don't see any reason why that couldn't be the same sort of model for you there in Belgrade.
Okay, any other discussion?
I do believe Maureen Milliken also submitted an email, and I
Yeah,
believe
I have,
her
Printed
request
that.
was that it be read into the meeting minutes.
Yeah, I printed a copy for each of you. It should be on your desktop.
Somebody
It's,
somewhere here.
It's 2 pages, so it's stapled in the corner.
I know I've had it here. I am.
It's at the bottom of the file that starts with this.
Except I probably moved my pile. 2 or 3
Yeah,
times.
all right, yeah.
I have it here, Carol.
Yeah, okay. So do we want to read the entire thing into the?
She asked for it to be written.
Okay. May 21st, 2024, members of the select board. I was a member of both the communication committee and the website committee in 2019 when we made the decision to go to Civics Plus. The decision wasn't made lightly. We spent months surveying town residents, researching options, and discussing how to proceed. There are likely others who could talk about it with more detail, but I can say that at all times, town's best interest, as well as the current and future needs, were our top priority. Our task was to make sure the town had a professional and robust website that would meet the needs of the residents, as well as the visitors and others who may want to move or start a business here. Considering all these functions of a modern website meant understanding how the pages would work, what information would be available, how people would access that information, and much, much more. Now, even more than 2019, when we made that decision, it's vital that Belgrade have an online presence that meets a variety of different needs and provides multiple levels of information. It is also important that our new website be substantial going forward for many years. As we know, individuals come and go, and we wanted a site that would not depend on specific individuals to maintain or update, but to be part of the fabric of the town office, no matter who worked there. It's troubling that we talk away months of effort, research, and decision-making that culminated in solid agreement by the select board that we found the best way to go forward. If we take a huge step back to the type of website we had before, we spent all those months deciding what type of site we really wanted. It would be cost greater than the price increase Civics Plus is asking. We won't see those costs on a black and white invoice. Instead, the financial negatives will chip away at our town's economy. I understand people are concerned about tax bills. One thing that has struck me since I bought my house here 13 years ago as that people frequently advocate for cutting budgets and services in order to keep taxes down. But I rarely, if ever, hear anyone make the case that we need to focus on better economic development to build a better tax base. Economic development includes elements that make our town attractive to residents and outsiders, that show us in our best light and let people know what we have to offer. A website is the first introduction people who don't live here have to our town. It's the first and should be the best source of information for our residents, particularly since we are no longer covered by a newspaper. Maintaining a professional and complete website even more of a necessity in 2024 as it was in 2019. My biggest concern for my tax bill is that we are more in the habit of backsliding and cutting than in thinking critically about how we could boost our town's economy. A final note, when I was ready to send this letter, I couldn't find email addresses or even phone numbers for board members on the town's website. I clicked on the staff contacts link on the website and got a notice that the page wasn't secure and wouldn't let me access it. I'm not confident a new site would be money well spent when we're not doing the basics to make sure the site we have is functional. Instead of a make a decision that would be a large step back, I suggest the town office strive to get our money's worth out of the website we have, keeping the site up to date, making sure department heads understand their role, and making the most of what Civics Plus has to offer. Respectfully, Maureen Milliken, 15 School Street.
Thank
So to me, it looks like we have two issues, and I would suggest that we first vote on changing our web address. And then we talk about Civics Plus, so the two separate issues, we take them as two separate orders of business. So, and Peter, I guess I'll ask you, which is it? Belgrade.gov? What do
They
you
go to
recommend?
.gov,
Okay,
and I think, like Anthony mentioned, that Winthrop is considering going to, or is in the process of going to a .gov.
.gov. So are we looking town of Belgrade.gov? I mean, is that
Yeah.
the consensus?
That would be
I'll
it.
make that motion.
Okay, so I was just asking where to get the wording for the motion.
And I'll
Okay,
second.
So
And you'll
town
second.
Belgrade.
.gov. Okay, any discussion on the motion to move to the town of Belgrade.gov? All in favor, Melanie,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes,
I vote yes, so,
Who seconded?
Peter,
Peter did.
Peter
Okay,
seconded.
Thank you.
So that's 5-4, so if you would start that process for us with, is it Main Tech that,
No, it's a state. I have a contact there. I've done
Okay.
several of them.
all right, okay, so that takes care of the first piece. The second piece, I personally would like to invite Civics Plus to our next meeting, to give us to table the decision on that contract and ask them to come and present to the board. Are we time critical on a commitment to them?
It's, I don't think the contract in place right now expires until July. They send out something 60 days prior because you
Yeah, this
only
was done
have 60 days
7/16,
to cancel.
7/16
Yeah.
of 19.
And I'd like to request that, if there are any questions about, how to do something with the website now, like, just if we get a handful of them to present to Civic Plus, so they could be addressed, like, that way, if there are stumbling blocks to fully utilize it now, maybe they could be addressed so that we could either learn or what to do or what has to be done to
Or not.
fully engage. Or not,
And what not to do.
Yeah.
Okay,
right? Because I want to make sure we ask that, not only because of the technology, but because of the staff time involved. We want to make sure that you and the team feel supported, like, oh, if we knew how to do this, then we can act efficiently. So that's my thinking.
Bruce?
Do we have somebody in the office other than Lana that's capable or kind of oversees the website? Or is it just the town or just Lana?
There
Because-
was supposed to be two people, the Civic Plus was two, maximum of three. And their philosophy was no one person should have control of any town's website. There should always be a secondary person, so Nick Poole was part of the original creation of the website. And I know we had the previous librarian, and when she got done, I'm not sure if anybody else in the town office picked that up. Was it
So,
just you,
Laura, if you could look at that.
website?
It's just, I'm hearing that it's, you're better, you know, it works better if you have somebody in the office maintaining that website, and then, you know, the town manager, you know, pops in, says, hey, we need to get to push this out or push that out, and, you know.
Turn off grant. or,
Right.
You know, whatever.
Right now, I'm doing most of it. Everything comes to me to add. I know Mary does some of the minutes. I
Yeah,
don't,
go on our website, it shows the town code.
You should have it, you should have multiple super users. In the town of Winthrop, we have 3 of them. And those are people who can publish to any place on the website. They have sort of carte blanche. You have to choose those people carefully, but whoever said it is absolutely right. You should never have just one person who has control of the website.
somebody else do it. It takes a tremendous amount of my time.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Laura, if you would come up with a plan for that. Sure. Okay, so I move we table just a vote on the Civics Plus contract until we have a presentation from them.
I'll second that.
Okay,
So
when,
the discussion,
yeah, I have a question,
Yeah.
discussion. If there are there any advantages other than cost to doing the site ourselves? It sounds like there are some disadvantages, but, and we don't have to have that now, but when we have that discussion, you know, aside from cost, are there any other advantages to doing it ourselves?
We tried it.
We tried it, been there, done that.
Yeah.
It's not fabulous.
Any comment, Peter?
I have another, so it's after Barbara, so it's a separate one.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor to table that.
Yep.
Is this about that?
This
Okay,
is
all right.
still about that
Okay.
topic, but I wanted to make sure that we were
Yeah.
addressed Barbara's concern first.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. And so I was looking at the website services contract, and under phase 2, it talks about implement design within CMS. So that was done. That gives me great confidence that there'd be the ability for our super users to be able to update content relatively in a straightforward manner. So I just want to make sure to state that out loud. So again, it's getting back to informing, educating the workforce to efficiently work with it so they can update content to the website. And according to this, that is supposed to be a part of the design.
Okay,
So
And then I've got one quick thing before we go. The last contract we had was a 5-year contract.
right.
This new one is open-ended. It doesn't show any ending.
I think
It says 1 year renewal.
Well,
It's 1 year.
and like, if you don't cancel it, it's open-ended. So what we need to do is we need to make sure on the calendar, 90 days prior to when this thing's due, we start talking about it, because by the time they send us something, we're already past when we can cancel it right now.
Right,
If it's in
gotcha.
effect.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like that automatic charge just sort of shows up. in
Yeah,
the credit card.
and that's what they wanna do, it's this new one, it's automatic
Automatic
recurring
renewal.
bill,
Yeah.
unless you cancel, so. So, I mean, we need to make sure we're far enough back, so that we're not within that 60 days, we're gonna start talking about it.
you can feel free to opt out anytime. Yeah, sure, easy.
Okay,
Just kidding.
any more discussion? All in favor of the motion to table this contract? Dan,
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes,
Melanie?
Yes.
I'll vote yes. So that makes 5 yeses. Are there is there anything under other business? Oh,
Oh, I have a question.
oh,
I saw the town Hampton the other day, I didn't realize it was a town truck until I saw who was driving. Do we have a plan in place to have that Town of Belgrade logo put on that? Because it is a town truck. So we usually have a town of Belgrade.
I don't think Corey has mentioned it, but I can speak to him about it for sure,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we should have anything that's municipal.
to refresh it.
Yeah.
Well, no, just so it's identified.
Oh, the silver one,
Yeah, I was like,
Gotcha.
oh, I think that's, oh, that is. on.
yes.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, note to self, ask if
Yeah.
we've got the plan.
Lorna, you have something else?
Yes, I do, yes, so I sent this out to you via email and then I printed a copy, so you have that on your tabletop. These are very minute, balances for taxes not paid. If these are not paid, then they will go under lien. It does cost $10 to send out certified mail to each one of these. So for a 93-cent balance, we would be spending $10 to send a certified letter. So Nick asked if the board would consider waiving these.
Well, don't we have to abate them?
I think
Sure,
you can
okay.
waive them.
Find out legally what we can do. I mean, yeah, I think we just make those all right off the books.
Can we look back and see what we did in 2023? Because Nick had made the same request in 2023 that anything under a certain amount.
We did not waive them, my memory of it is we did, but I don't think it cost $10 a piece to lien them or
I feel
to
like
send
we
them.
did waive them if they were below a certain point.
Yeah.
I think we did.
Did we?
So if we can go back and just check that and see what we did in 2023 when they first brought the request to us, because we may have to make, if we have to do an abatement of each one of those in that amount, or if we can simply waive them and name them individually.
I think you can waive them, and the letter for putting them under lien will go out the 23rd.
Which is.
Yeah, did it?
Yes.
Right.
Mm.
Is Nick available? Bring my phone, because I'm trying to see what it is last year.
Yeah, 'cause I mean, if we send out a letter, the people are gonna have to pay. That just like we send those notifications on everything else. It's part of their, what they owe them.
Do they have to pay the $10
For the certified letter.
for the certified letter?
We pay that.
But I would think they'd have to maybe give that to their balance.
I don't
Yes,
know.
because part of what our rule is that any unpaid balance and any fees associated with notification of those balances falls back on the tax bank.
So,
And notification.
Right, after notification. So you're, $10 and 93 cents, it'll be $10, $11.
I just didn't know because this is a notification of it, not an actual lien. That was my question.
It's considered an expense and it's in the annual report. Taxpayers vote on it every year, so.
Mary's still on, I'm trying to, Mary, if you're there and you can hear me, will you jump on?
I'm on.
You don't.
Hello.
So we did not waive those last year, and it actually cost us more money to send those out. It does, for a 93-cent, we are in the process of trying to contact those individuals. Some of them we don't have contact numbers for. But the $10, we do pay that, and that does get applied to their lien costs. We hate to see, last year, we did not waive them. We sent them out, but the total amount is less than $40. I think we got a couple of people to pay today. But we're going to pay $10 per person at least to send those out, and it will place a lien on their property. If they don't pay, those liens are not going to be placed until June 23rd, and that will incur additional costs at the Registry of Deeds. So if
But Mary,
the board decides to waive them, they should state where you're gonna take the money from to waive those amounts. You know, it, in the past, Nick has actually paid those because the cost of sending that out exceeds the cost of what we're going to recoup.
I think Peter had
And
a
he said he
question,
would do the same
and then I-
this
Just
year.
pays them himself?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem
No,
right.
we can't have that.
This is a lot of questions.
Peter?
So I just had a basic question. Can we legally waive? Can we do that? I mean, whether or not we should or not is a different question, but
Well, that was my question, is it, can you waive it, or does it have to be
I
abated?
don't think it has to be abated, I think. it can
So
be-
it can't be abated, it has to be waived because there's no abatement on that. So what happened is a lot of times, so people sent their taxes in, but they were like 5 days late, 10 days late. And by state law, we can't waive the interest. We can't waive it. The board can waive it, but we cannot waive the interest. So it sits there. And it's been sitting there since September 1st. But 93 cents on one of them. I think one of them was 93 cents. We've tried to find, yeah. You know, it's
okay.
So Mary, if we have to send notification letters out, it costs $10 a pop. Can we charge that back to the folks? Cause you paid your tax bill late, and it's pretty clear that there's interest that accrues if your tax payment is not received on time.
correct, because there are people that they pay on time. So do we supplement the people that didn't pay on time? And that's the, ethical question.
But
The
can-
taxes are due on the due date.
Can we charge them the $10 that it costs us to notice them?
We do. It's unfortunate that somebody's property would be lien for 93 cents. But if their check wasn't received on time, we can't legally waive it. It's state law. So we follow what we feel is, we take the postmark date of when it was sent out, but it's the board's choice. I mean, it is the board's choice. And do you want to put somebody to lien for 93 cents?
Well, it's we're hearing about it 2 days before, which if this was a month ago, we'd be in a slightly different situation. Because now if liens are required to go out in 2 days,
We've got to make a
Jim
decision.
puts us as making an emergency decision instead of.
We have to send notice in 2 days.
I think Nick waited until the very last moment because some of these people they've been reaching out to, so they've come in and paid. And like Mary said, 2 or 3 came in today. So there are probably 2 or 3 here that have already paid
So this list is as of yesterday.
the
Monday.
20th.
Yeah. Okay. You had a comment or did you have a comment?
No.
Well, I had a question. Mary, you said that we can't waive the fee, but the board can. So
The-
we being the staff.
Yeah,
but the-
correct.
So,
you personally,
By
treasurer-
by state law, the tax collector cannot waive any interest that has accrued because the taxes were not paid on time. So that's state law. And so we follow that. But the board has the authority to waive that. So it's really your decision.
Okay. Bruce?
So my next question is this the same group of people year after year? Has anybody tracked it down?
That's what we
That
track.
I don't know. Nick could probably tell you.
So looking at the list, because I'm familiar with the list, it is not the same group of people. Some of them are new people that maybe their mortgage company didn't have the correct due date. Maybe they didn't know the correct due date, but I will say that those, what is it left, 10 people maybe?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
12.
12.
Well, but
Yeah.
minus two.
And actually, I think a couple of those paid, so I think we're down to about 10. Yeah, so it is not the same group of people.
I hate to put on somebody's house for that kind of money.
Yeah.
But. I think the reason we probably didn't waive them the last time is we didn't want to set a precedent of.
Right.
This year, we're gonna waive them, and the next time a board comes in, maybe they won't waive them, and. You know, it's just,
Yeah, I knew last year we didn't waive them. Okay,
Yeah. It's, now that you mention it, I have recalled that, I had not, until tonight. So I think the reasoning that we had was solid last year, even though maybe unpopular.
okay. I move we do not waive the fees for these folks.
And it's WAIVE.
Right. I was like, who's Raymond?
No, it's
Oh,
WAI, we need an I wave.
Oh.
Motion.
oh, here, oh, okay.
Can I add to that the cost associated with noticing the people is borne by the taxpayer and not the town?
Right, that is by statute anyway, right?
Yes,
yeah,
Okay,
I think
so yes.
I think it gets recouped as part of the lien.
it is, it is.
Okay,
Did someone second that?
not yet.
Okay,
I just want to, we need to move forward. Let's make a decision.
I will second that.
Okay. All in favor, Dan,
Yes,
Barbara,
Yes.
Peter,
Sadly, yes.
Melvin.
Yes.
I agree, sadly, yes, but if we're gonna be consistent, so it's 5. And if you could suggest, Nick, that he not pay it out of his own pocket.
Yes. I will.
Right.
Your job.
Bless his heart.
Not his job, but, okay, is there any other business? Okay, moving on to warrant. Okay, I move we authorize payment of warrant number 53, payable warrant number 53 in the amount of $23,188.23.
Second.
All
You
in
made the
favor,
lady.
all in favor, Melanie,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
Dan.
yes,
I vote yes, that's 5 yeses. I move we authorize payment of B&B warrant number 54 in the amount of $16,123.17.
I'll second that.
All in favor, Dan,
yes,
Barbara,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
I vote yes, so that's 5. I move we pay warrant, AP warrant number 55, the amount of $81,488.90.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on this one?
Yes. Page 2. We have recreation plans. I was like, what is that?
page 2.
Yeah, page 2 under card number services, and my other question is there, when are we going to go to a PO system?
To what?
The purchase
Yeah.
order system.
Oh,
the folks haven't.
we haven't gotten there yet. You said it was the card member services?
Yes. What's under operating supplies, so just to show that we're using cameras for the correct side. Are they toddler sized cameras for the toddler program or counselor sized cameras?
Is the other two.
yeah.
That's going on in the last 3 years.
What are we looking at?
$28.93 recreation.
Oh,
I'm gonna guess their, humor is like a humor, but they were for a rec. I'm sorry, what was that?
Why? I
But
can't
that,
think
and
of
that
any-
price of the check probably was only one.
right.
But it's made out to recreation hammers too, so I'm like,
Kind of weird.
is that supposed to be like Amazon hammer or?
I don't see credit card stuff in here. I
We
don't,
definitely need to get the purchase order stuff implemented, then that way at least the purchase order will be in there.
don't see anything here.
So maybe do we just, for tonight, we just take it on faith that it was a hammer for the recreation department?
Some kids wear,
Get clarification.
Get
next week.
clarification next time. Tomorrow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's Thursday.
Thursday, that's right,
Thursday.
tomorrow's Wednesday.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, it's also under card number services. We have DOT traffic sign that we paid $60 for, but it's in the library.
I think that is the blue, I think they're blue, the signs on the road.
127 indicating
That it's a,
Oh,
it gets paid to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
DOT actually makes those in their shop.
Marketing type.
That's okay.
They have a great shop.
They do. I do have a question on page 6. What is remove snow blower?
Remove
So
snowball.
it says
Repair.
remove snow blower. $178. Just is that taking the snow blower off the tractor? We couldn't take the snow blower off the tractor here.
Oh, I think that's what it, that's the only thing I can think of is.
I mean, I take mine off my tractor all the time. No clue.
I don't see
Well-
any card member services here,
That-
unless I'm
This is
looking on the
MB.
wrong.
That's under
This is MB tractor,
Right.
Oh, MB.
MB, but it says remove snow blower, then it's mower, mower,
Mower repair.
mower repairs. That's what I was saying with
So
snow
it's
blower.
like,
Mower.
They removing the snow blower.
Yeah, we definitely should pay close to $200 for anybody that hooked those cotter pens. I'll come do it.
Disconnect some.
So
Houses.
this is the MB tractor, for 1,027. Is that what you have?
No, it's.
No, that's mower repairs. It was
78.
remove snow blower for 178. It was just right before that.
Remove snowball.
Mhm.
I don't have another invoice, so it's gonna be on this one.
What was the invoice you got?
How
Much,
Repairs.
the total is 1,027.69.
you know,
Right.
no, the total
But-
is 1,205.69.
Well, the total for both is that. That's what Dan's.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a separate amount of 178 for remove snow blower.
Your turn, Rich.
Okay, okay,
It's human.
we'll wait for the vote.
22.
I think that was probably in it, but just try to, yes, okay.
Yeah.
I'll ask her. He might know.
Must be busy.
Hello, I had a question about waiving the,
Yeah.
interest on those accounts, but I think we're all set with that. The, removing snow blower, MB tractor for facilities, do you know what that was? Removes. The Kubota, it's not a Kubota, the Coyote. They took the snow blower off the tractor. Yeah, I'm not sure if they had, I don't know if they had difficulty, couldn't get it off. I don't know,
All work.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Okay, and the hammers for recreation, was that one hammer or two? Oh, small hammers for the kids because they were building birdhouses.
Perfect.
Okay,
Perfect.
okay, I think that was it. Okay, all right, thanks.
Side on my side.
Bye.
Yes.
That's right, now they said that, I was down there the other day and saw the little birdhouse, they did a really good job, and that was very, clever.
So remove the snow blower.
So they removed
Disassembling.
Right, I know they have the snowblower off, or there's not taking the snowblower off, either crap before you lose to the town, there ain't much to taking a snowblower. I'll next time take it off, so you know, save.
Unless something was stripped or, you know.
Why did we pay to have the snow blower at the, the tractor? Yeah. Let's see what.
I realize. It's
Okay. Anything else?
So.
Okay, this is gonna seem like a silly, but I'm just gonna ask it. On page 8, you paid $9 for paper clips.
Yes, Kenny went to the surplus. The state surplus and bought a whole big bag of clips and paper clips for $9. Because when I saw the warrant, I asked the same thing. I said, they're gonna ask me what this is, so I have to know. Yeah,
And then we also have clips under WB Mason for $76.
that's because we buy our different size, those black clips.
The heavy ones.
Yeah, and so here's an invoice for the state one, multi-tool paper clips. Oh, and a power strip. So $9, so it did pretty well.
Okay.
Yes.
I know, right? Yeah.
All right, I'm down.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, all in favor of approving warrant number 50? Dan?
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
And I'll approve, so that's 5 yeses. And then warrant number 50, I move we approve BMV warrant number 50. Oh no, it's payroll warrant number 56.
Yep.
In the amount of the $23,581.10.
Second.
All in favor, Melanie?
Yes.
Peter?
Yep.
Barbara?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. And then, I move we approve AP warrant number 57 in the amount of $10,133.15.
Second?
All in favor, Melanie?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. So it's 5 yeses. That takes us through the warrants. And now we come to town manager. Okay.
Attended the monthly, KB cog board meeting via Zoom, this morning. And also, kind of like a seminar, surveying the compensation and benefits landscape, 2024, through KBRHA. That was Zoom only. Ballots are available for the primary, RSU 18 school budget and town referendum. Now, we'll be planting flowers this week, Thursday. I think Mary said she only had 2 people who had let her know that they would help. So if anybody can help, that would be really great. Just arrive around 9 o'clock up at the cemetery, bug spray, hat, gloves, and a trowel.
Can I just ask one, did we reach out to our gardening group that was started last year to see if anyone from there could help?
We have not, but we can. I also posted another notice on our Facebook page. The Memorial Day service will be held Monday, 10 o'clock at the History House. Mary said today she thought it looked like they were forecasting rain, but we're crossing our fingers.
Not till night on Monday.
Frank Hagan will be master of ceremonies, and then, of course, if it's inclement weather, the event will be held at the school.
And do we have a speaker?
Not yet. Nor anyone to,
No, yes, we do.
oh, do we now?
Yes, yeah, it just came in late this afternoon, so we do have a speaker. I can't recall his name, I'm sorry. But we do have a speaker, so we're all set.
But no music yet.
Well, we have the master singers from the high school, and we also have the choir from the Union Church that they both performed last year. So I was waiting for the bugler to come through, but we haven't heard anything about that. We do have a backup plan, so, and I think it will be all set.
Great.
Yay,
Good.
good.
Thank you, Mary.
Facilities are closed May 27 in observance of Memorial Day. The June newsletters in progress. We're planning to have that in the mail early the week of Memorial Day. I've given a draft to Barbara. She said she would help, and then I gave one to Carol tonight to show her what space she had.
How much space I had or didn't have.
But we seem to be in good shape. To have that finished up, we actually, if you wanna, I don't know if you wanna show it, Carol, but we did
I have to see what.
a middle 2-page spread for the event so that people can take that right out and keep it or put it up. Thinking that was a good idea. We hope to have some employee handbook revisions for the board to review at its June 4 meeting. We met again today, and then we have another meeting next week. We have committee openings for the short-term rental committee ad hoc, the water district. I think we have one more trustee, Board of Appeals, Senior Resource Committee, and Transfer Station Committee. A notice was posted to our Facebook page this week, and this will be included in the June newsletter.
Aren't there still some openings for the library? I thought there was at least one opening, maybe two on the library trust.
I didn't think so. I know Mary gave me an updated list, so
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing if there were that,
Okay, great.
that they would be on this list, but I can make a note to check that. Library. Okay, brown-tail moth mitigation has been completed as part of the grant we received at the following locations. Center for All Seasons, the Lakes Fire Station, Hayden Park, Woodside Cemetery, Pine Grove Cemetery, Quaker Cemetery, the Workman Field, the library, the Dalton property, the Village Green, Peninsula Park, the Maintenance Garage, and North Belgrade Community Center. We received the speed study for the West Road and Broad Pond Road. I pushed that out to you via email, and I believe I made a hard copy and put that in your boxes as well.
Yeah, it's kind of useful.
I know, right?
Yeah.
The RFP for tree services was sent out to businesses in Augusta, Sydney, Waterville, Augusta, Oakland, Mount Vernon, Rome, and Belgrade. The dry hydrant installation is posted, and we've had inquiries and questions already. I've been sending them over to Deanne ahead of the pre-bid meeting. The pest services contracts have been signed for the town office, Center for All Seasons, the Lakes Fire Station, and the North Belgrade Community Center.
Lorna, I have a question about the speed study.
Yes.
The people who requested the study for Pond Road, Road,
Could send a copy to them.
yeah, I think it
Yes.
would be a courtesy to let them know. that
Agreed. Yeah.
Transpired, even though it's not the news that they're gonna wanna hear.
Right, right. I'll make a note of that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
One question, Lorna may not be able to know this, I probably should ask for this, do you know if they sprayed up around the townhouse for tickets? For Monday? That's usually done and.
I do not know if they did or not. Do you want me to send a message?
Yes, I probably should, that's just, when you was talking Memorial Day, and that just popped in my head.
Cause they have done that before there.
Because the first time, we had terrible ticks from people. up
They're
there.
out really thick.
So,
Oh, so, I did have a response about having the snow blower taken off. Because we don't know how to do it, it's not an easy job. You have to take the front all apart on the tractor to get the snow blower off.
Oh, it's front mounted?
yes,
Yeah, but it still shouldn't be that hard. Exactly, I'll take a look at that next year, because most of them you drive up to. Drops a couple of pins on there, put a pin through the bottom, it goes as up.
you know, it's a thing, just I drove, and I'm pretty big deal.
Yeah, well, mine has a drive shaft under it, it's a quick connect drive shaft.
Okay, the other thing, I didn't mention under other business I just found here. This is the State of Maine Department of Public Safety EMS Stabilization Program Grant Agreement.
Yes, I forgot.
Do you want to just briefly explain?
Sure, so the fire and rescue applied for a grant, I think I pushed that up to you as well. They did receive, or were awarded a grant in the amount of $50,000 for a pickup. And Dan got a hold of me today and asked, if you look at the grant award, the signature lines for him. And he just wanted to run it by you and make sure that you all were okay for him to sign that and they could begin looking for a vehicle.
Okay. So, I move that we authorize Dan McKenzie, Fire Chief, to sign the State of Maine Department of Public Safety Maine EMS Stabilization Program Grant Agreement.
Sorry.
That was a mouthful.
Any discussion? All in favor, Melanie?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes,
Dan?
Yes,
And I vote yes, so. This goes in.
That will be very helpful.
Okay. So that's 5 yeses, okay. If there's nothing else to come before the board, we have a short executive session. So we would excuse everyone and the board will have a short executive session.
oh, we have some stuff like it's not signed.
Sign folder, yeah, oh. Yeah, there's this check. Oh. Oh.
We want.
oh, sorry.
Have a good night.
Question for him about, there was a culvert question,
Oh,
And-
there was.
and it was, there was a culvert that we brought up at the last meeting that was an issue, and we weren't sure where all the culverts that we purchased were going to be going.
approve the evaluation raise for the town manager at 3% retroactive to September 6, 2023.
Second,
All in favor, Melanie,
yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Carol, Barbara,
Yes,
Dan,
Yeah.
those 5 yeses. Okay, and also would announce an executive session meeting, tomorrow night, May 22nd, following our special town meeting. Under 1 MRSA 405C, 6A. And that we also have a schedule, an executive session for Wednesday, May 29th at 6:30. Under 1 MRSA subsection 405(6)E.
Second,
Okay, we're just scheduling, we don't need a vote, do we? No,
Because we schedule
right,
your
okay,
agenda all the time.
okay, and then I move, we adjourn the meeting at 8:18.
second,
All in favor, Melanie,
yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Barbara,
yes.
Dan,
Yes.
and I vote yes.
And